Houston, we have a problem.
Sway in the Morning is taking over.
It's bigger than Houston. It's the whole Lone Star State.
Broadcasting live from the home of Super Bowl 51, or Shade 45.
All right, we're in Houston, man. Hey, Houston, you still with me? Make some noise. You know, I felt it was appropriate, Heather B. If last time I talked, well, I communicate with my brother periodically via text, and we're always touching base with each other. That's how I know. That's how I know he's real. You know, I never doubted if he was real or not because I know his pedigree. You know, I got a chance to study his game from day one. You know, I watched how he moved. He's always been like an independent thinker, independent mover. He's never followed the fray. He's never been a part of a flock. He's never believed any trickery that people try to, you know, run down or put into his mind or stuff down his throat or however you want to call it. He's always been that person. He's his own person. He doesn't hold back his tongue. He calls it as he sees it. And some may think how radical some may think it is. No matter how extreme some may think it is, he's always true to himself and honest. He's always bringing information to the forefront that we could benefit from or at least make you think about.
I like that.
You know, and he's been a part of a tremendous legacy out of Houston when you talk about that Rap-A-Lot lineage and what's come from it.
Yeah.
And he's a wonderful person, a wonderful father. He has his own live podcast now where he can say whatever he wants whenever he wants. You know, last time he came on the show, he triggered so much conversation from our listeners. We were talking about his interview for weeks.
Right.
And he said a lot of things. I don't even know how long ago it was. I feel like a year ago or so. About 9 months ago. He said a lot of things then that we're seeing starting to come to fruition now, especially when you talk about the political scene and how politics affect our community. He's here with us today. I asked him to come by. He came by. Houston, I know you're going to show some love for the legendary Willie D. Woo! Damn, man. It's official now.
Say, man, can you do my eulogy?
Hey, I don't want to do that. Right. I'm gonna do what you're doing while you're here with us. You know, while we're here breathing. Man, we're in Houston, man. Tell us what we should be what should we not leave Houston without doing? Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we leave Houston, what's some of the things what we gotta see and do?
Well, the main thing that you got to do, man, is just get out, man, and experience, you know, our eateries, man.
Okay.
You know, I mean, we got some of the best food in the world.
Yes.
And we got some of the best people in the world that live here. So it's incumbent upon anybody that visit our city to be respectful also.
Yes.
You know, because sometimes people come here and, you know, they want to take a dump, you know? And so just like when we come to New York, or anywhere else, you know, we wipe our feet, you know what I'm saying? Like, show respect, you know? You know, we in Sway Town, baby, you know what I'm saying? We got to show respect, you know? So that's very, very important that we don't forget that, you know, while we're out here having a good time, you know, because it's so much to do, man, and it's a lot of traffic. And so just like, you know, it's always hot out here, and it tripped me out when people in Houston complain about it being hot. Like, you move to a hot climate, man, you know, like, right now, you know, you came to the Super Bowl to enjoy the Super Bowl. You know it's going to be crowded, so stop complaining about the traffic. It's like going to the club and knowing the club going to be hot and people going to be everywhere, but then you get mad when somebody bump into you or waste a drink.
Yeah.
You know, it goes with the territory. So, you know, just embrace the whole experience, man, and you'll be all right.
Right.
The Super Bowl coming to Houston, though, is great for the city economically, I would imagine. How does it, do you get a sense of that? Do you feel that?
Yeah, everybody not winning, but a lot of people getting money right now. A whole lot of people getting money. And if you got a good service, a good product, man, you're likely to win.
Okay.
You know what I was thinking? This is my first time in Houston.
Right.
I'm hella excited. And I noticed that every city kind of has their language, you know? Like, New York always has, like, their different words and staples. I was talking to a really dope man over here, and he mentioned kinfolk, and that's, like, said in Houston. What are some other terms that I should know?
Oh, wow, you know.
Already.
Wow. Tahlmbout?
Right? No, I'm talking about.
We
That was
coming
good.
down. We ain't coming D-O-W-N. We coming D-I-N-E.
Dang.
We coming down,
Dang.
you know.
Okay.
I mean, we got a plethora of sayings, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Um,
I think people wake in H-Style just wake up and say, man, what can I say different?
yeah.
And ain't nobody else saying. You know?
Let's talk about your podcast. How long you been doing it now?
Since June.
Since June.
Yeah, since June.
What was your perspective on this year's election, the results, and what we're seeing in D.C. right now?
I just couldn't believe that we had enough people that think like Donald Trump to vote for Donald Trump. Yeah, I just feel like the landscape of the way people think is just very, very different from the way it used to be.
Yeah.
And I thought that we were going forward. You know, societies are supposed to go forward, not backwards. And it just seems like America is going backwards. You know, we're advancing in technology. You know, we getting money. You know, we're creating 15-year-old millionaires, billionaires. You know, we got all of these exterior things going on, but like internally, we're sick.
Yeah.
You know, like morally, we're corrupt. And that's where we're going backwards at, and that's what it needs to be some type of concentration there mentally on how we're going to go forward as a society, because you got a lot of people that just truly believe that they can live in this society and, you know, be, I guess, centralized to their own devices.
Yeah.
You know, they think that they can really make it all on their own. I'm good, my family good, F you and your family. That's not going to work, because even if you live behind a wall, you live behind a gated community, at some point you got to come out of those gates. You know, at some
Absolutely.
point.
A round of applause, man. He's preaching. He's speaking.
At some point, your children are going to have to come outside of those gates.
You're right.
Now, if your children come outside of those gates and they were, and they came in contact with somebody that didn't look like them or didn't think like them, you know, wouldn't, you know, and they were like, ended up like maybe they stopped at a gas station, or maybe they were at a house party or something. Wouldn't you feel safer if you felt like the people that they were going to come in contact with were good, decent people that was not going to just judge them because of the color of their skin? Wouldn't you want them to be judged by their content of their character?
Absolutely.
So that's what we're missing, that point.
Yeah.
And we don't understand that we can't make it by ourselves in this society. If you think you can make it by yourself, you're one of the biggest fools on the planet. You can't. America has always been stronger when we work together. Anytime we come together, we've always been stronger. But anytime we're apart, we're miserable. You know, it's like it doesn't matter how you feel, you know, personally. Even if you're the most selfish person in the world, you gotta help that little youngster that everybody is ignoring on the streets that's causing havoc. You gotta reach out to him, give him some tickets to the game, take him to the park, talk to him, talk to the little, he ain't nothing but he's a kid.
Yeah.
He's a person, he's a human being. So he has emotions, he has feelings, he has desires, he has dreams, he has aspirations. So just talk to him, and you may be able to deter, you know, this little kid from doing something really, really radical, something really bad.
Yeah.
Maybe to you one day, because you're not gonna always be strong and hard and all this stuff. Sooner or later, you're gonna get old too.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna be able to protect yourself at 80, at 70, like you can at 20, at 30, at 40.
Willie D has joined us. Go ahead, Tracy.
I was going to say, I love everything that you're talking about, Willie. This is my type of conversation. And you mentioned the importance of talking. And I see that right now, the art of communication is so needed, the mastery of that, because people are getting into very, very heated debates. There's a lot of impatience. Break down some key things that we should remember when we're speaking to someone who has political differences.
Yeah, you know, it's that whole thing about, you know, agreeing to disagree. You know, like I have people in my life that's very, very close to me, and we got these. We actually have boundaries. We like, look, man, if I go here, I know I'm going to open up a whole can of worms. So I'm not going to even have this conversation unless we know we have an understanding that it's cool to go there, and then because it's two things that you can't. It's very, very hard to change about people, and that's their political views and their religious views. I mean, that's a squabble, man. That's a squabble. So our point in our arrogance, we like to try to change a person. Like we try to bend and mold and make a person think the way that we want them to think, and that's not really, how you should communicate. The idea of communication, is to just talk about your talking points. Tell people how you feel, and then they tell you how they feel, and then you try to find some type of common ground. But the key to all communication, whether you're talking about politics or religion or anything, is just basic common decency and respect for one another.
Common decency. Let me ask you this. We had a lot of folks from our community and entertainment had a chance to speak with the president-elect, including Kanye, including Steve Harvey, Jim Brown, and they all came out and said they thought he was okay, and one of them even said that they love him, If you had a chance to speak with President-elect President Donald Trump.
The election happened.
Yeah.
Still unbelievable.
What would you bring up to him? What would you talk about to him? What would you say? Hey, man, you need to pay attention to this. What would you say to him?
I would be very, very candid with him, but at the same time, as much as I hate to do, if I sat down and had a conversation with anybody knowing that the idea is to bring some type of resolve to an issue, then I have to come with respect. I have to talk to him respectfully. And so, my one of the first things that I would do is put my cards on the table and say, man, I didn't vote for you, first and foremost. I think you should tone down that rhetoric, man, because what you're doing, I understand that you're speaking your mind, but I think you really should think before you say certain things, because I have to do that too.
Yes.
Sometimes, man, I want to say certain things, even to my own children, and I can't, because I know if once I let that toothpaste out that tube, I can't put it back in. So I don't want to say something that could affect my relationship with my children for decades.
Yes.
So I got to be very, very mindful. Even though they're my kids, I still got to be very, very mindful of how I talk to them and how I treat them. So when I'm speaking to the president, I would just I would lay it out, man, and just let him know that, first and foremost, you got to bring that rhetoric down, and that if you really, really want to unite people, you have to sit down and talk to people and hear their side of the story, and then try to find out how you can work together. You have to try to work with people. Meeting with all of the celebrities and all that stuff, that was good for him.
Right.
But it made a lot of them look like some coons, and some of them are coons, but it really made them look bad. So for Donald Trump, his whole thing is doing what he wants to do. I can't believe that, irregardless of what how it affects somebody else. He just does whatever, and I can't believe that after saying what he said and all of these tapes and stuff that was exposed about this man, that people still went out and voted for him. Like women voted for him, Hispanics voted for him, immigrants voted for him. All of these people that he was trashing during the whole election, these people voted for this man anyway. Like, what about this dude while he was having his campaign and he's telling you who he is and what he's about and what he's gonna do? What about, did you think it was like opposite day or something?
Like opposite day.
Exactly. So, man, my thing would be for this man is that I would really want to. Everybody's talking about it. Well, he's gonna bring jobs. He's gonna bring jobs. He's gonna bring jobs. Look here, man. If you can't wake up in the morning and feel and have some hope about your situation, look, man. If you can't have hope about your situation, if you can't feel good about yourself and the next person, your neighbors, your neighbors' children, even your co-workers and all that stuff. Man, the money, it doesn't matter how much money that you have in your pocket.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, if you don't feel good about the relationships in your life, it doesn't matter how much money that you have.
Willie D is here, ladies and gentlemen. Houston, make some noise for Willie D. He debuted the song Coon on our show, Sway in the Morning. And in that song, he exposed a lot of people to what he believes is coonery. And then you made Coon 2.
Yes, sir.
And you sent it to me, Sway, here's Coon 2. And then I remember being at my house listening to it and going, damn, that was my only response. Because I can appreciate somebody who's transparent and honest about what they feel and what they believe and not scared to say it. Yeah. You know, Coon 2 was necessary. Why?
Because I didn't have enough time on Coon 1. Hey, you know, see, the Coons are very active, man. The Coons are, they active, man.
What's Coon culture about?
Yeah, the whole Coon culture is about getting money and distancing themselves from their people. Distancing themselves from their culture, their heritage. They want to just get as far away from it as possible, and they think somehow, if they can do that, they'll be accepted. But see, the way life works is that people will be around you for your money and your influence and stuff like that, but behind your back, they always talk down to you. Nobody respects a sellout. Even if I can use you as a sellout, I'm using you to get what I want.
Yeah.
I won't respect you. And that's the thing that coons don't understand. Like, the establishment that they're trying to uphold and they're trying to strengthen, that establishment would never respect them because they're coons. Like Donald Trump, I gotta say, he is a coon lover. You know, he's great at coon recruitment.
That's a hashtag.
Yeah, he's great. He's great, really. But the thing about it is that all of these people like Omarosa and that, what's that, Darryl Scott dude and the pastor, Armstrong, what's his name, the Armstrong guy, the conservative, the black conservative.
William?
Armstrong Williams. No, is that him?
But go ahead.
Whatever his name, what name is, he's been a career coon. He's been cooning about 35 years, so he's real good at it. But all of these dudes, these people, man, the dude don't respect them. He laughing at them. He laughing at them because it don't even make sense, some of the positions that they hold, they uphold. It don't even make sense. And I was talking to, this past mayoral election in Houston, I endorsed an independent by the name of Bill King. He's a white dude. And he went against Sylvester Turner, who was a black guy. I didn't feel like Sylvester was the best guy for the job, based on his tenure and as a representative in the district that he's been serving for the past 26 years. I just didn't feel like he was getting it done. And so I was like, man, let's give this guy a chance. Now, Bill King was an independent, but he had to run on a Republican ticket because he couldn't get enough votes as an independent. But I understood the dude because I know his background. He's reached across the aisle to work with people from all different backgrounds. He's been a strong businessman and a leader in the community for a long time. I thought he was the best man for the job.
Did he win?
I endorsed him. He lost.
Okay.
He lost, but he got very, very close.
Okay.
He got closer than any Republican has gotten, running for mayor like in the last 30 years or so.
Okay.
He got real, real close. But the thing is that, people had problems. If it was people that had a problem with that, and I'm like, man, at the end of the day, for me, I really do judge people by the content of their character,
by
man.
Their character, right?
Yeah, but I can't. I told Bill King straight up. And it's like I'm saying, and I can. We can correlate this with what I would say to Donald Trump. I told him straight up, sitting on his couch. I said, listen here, man. I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire. I'll endorse you. I'm gonna catch a lot of hell for endorsing you, but that's okay because as long as I'm standing on righteousness, I'm not worried about what anybody else says.
That's what's up.
So I'm good with that. I say, but You got to do everything you say you're going to do, and if you don't get it done, you at least got to try to get it done. And we got to feel as a people that you tried to get it done.
Yeah.
I understand sometimes everything don't work out, but at least try to get it done.
And that's your
But
message
if you
to Donald.
don't, if you don't, I'm going to come at you just like I would come at any other enemy. And he was like, man, I ain't never met anybody in politics that truthful and honest before.
Yeah.
You know, but that's how I feel, you know, because my whole thing is that at night, whatever decisions that I make, whether you know, people think they're good or bad, I have to be able to sleep at night. So if I can sleep good at night, I don't care what I did, what I said, I'm good. I know I made the right decision.
There you have it. Willie D. Houston, give it up for the legend, Willie D.
A real one.
Hey, man, I love when we get these moments.
Yeah.
You know, and continue success and stand by what you believe. You set an example for folks, man.
You know what, man? I did want to say this here, man. You know, a lot of times, you know, people talk about, you know, what's going on in our communities with violence and stuff like that, and they say, well, you know, black lives don't matter, must not matter that much because look at how y'all doing each other. Yeah. And then so you know that we're operating under a system of white supremacy. I mean, look, man, I wish I didn't have to say that. You know, I wish I had.
Go ahead, speak, man.
I wish I had the exact same respect and opportunities as everybody else in this country, but I don't. You know, this is a racist country. I mean, the country is built on racism. I mean, it was built, and it's being upheld by, you know, people like Donald Trump and the people that he's picking to be in his cabinet and on the Supreme Court. So I wish I didn't have to talk like that, and I wish I didn't have to have this conversation with my own son or my own daughter. Yeah. But this is our reality. So when they say that we don't care, that's a lie. So when I want to say, they say we don't care about black on black crime. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They lie. That's what they say to justify their murder spree. Yeah. Desensitize the public so they can murder me. Mm-hmm. Fool me once, don't fool me twice. I've been to the pen, I ain't about that life. You pray that I move that package so you can make me wear that jacket and break up my home like you did with the welfare. Providing for my kids is not rare. You plot for my downfall immensely, trying to turn the whole world against me. Still I rise. I'm the preeminent. That's why you want to make me effeminate. That's why you say, man, gone.
Willie D, ladies and gentlemen.
I can go on and on that one.
Willie D, ladies and gentlemen. Houston, give it up for Willie D.
It's Sway in the morning, only
on Shade 45.